Dr. Ranganathan, please. This is a very serious issue.
No, absolutely. Good evening, Rahul. It's a very serious issue, and I must congratulate you and Times Now for getting out this intelligence document. I have to say this. It is eerie that you are saying it today, what you are. Because hardly a week has gone by when the man who first proposed that Kashmir should be an Islamic state 26 years ago. This, all what you are saying, Rahul, is, and you would know this because you are a Kashmiri Pandit. 5 lakhs of you were driven out from the 90s, in the 1990s from Kashmir because of that man who died a week ago, Gilani. What this document says is straight out of Gilani's playbook. And people may not believe me, so I have to quote verbatim, Rahul, if you allow me just a couple of minutes. Because people must understand.
1 minute.
People must understand.
Just shut him down. This Ayaz. Shut him down, please. This is not right. This is a civilized debate we are having, sir. You may subscribe to some ideology that doesn't recognize the mores of civilization. Keep it to yourself. You're sitting in India, okay? You're not sitting in Kabul. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, so what I was saying was that, in case many of us think that this is happening for the first time, Hinduphobia, Islamic supremacy views, let me enlighten them. Because Gilani, after all, as you know, Rahul, was responsible for pushing Kashmir into religious fanaticism, communal bigotry, genocide, Hindu exodus, and untold misery. And it is shocking that a week ago there were Indians who were sad and mourning his death. Rahul, a man is known and understood best by his own words. So let me, as I said, quote here verbatim, I repeat verbatim, the words and quotes of Gilani. They will give you a glimpse into his world. A world of hatred for India and Hindus, specifically Hindus. These are taken from his book, Nawai-e-Hurriyat, that he published in 1995. Number 1, India is a bigger enemy of Islam and Muslims than even Israel. 2, Muslims are a Qaum wholly separate from the Hindus. Muslims are a complete separate nation on the basis of their religion, culture, civilization, customs and practices, and thought. Their nationalism and the foundation of their unity cannot be based on their homeland, race, language, color, or economic system. The basis of their unity is Islam and Islam alone, unquote. 3, Pakistan was created for the hegemony of Islam and for establishing an Islamic system. Pakistan is the land of the dreams of all Kashmiris because it was won in the name of Islam, unquote. 4, accession to India would result in the Kashmiri Muslims having to live perpetually under Hindu slavery. The entire struggle of the Kashmiri people is for the sake of Islam and accession to Pakistan. 5, quote, Kashmir must become an Islamic state. Our goal is the establishment of Islamic government. Our struggle is for the sake of Islam, unquote. 6, Islam removes people from the slavery, but secularism makes the people slaves of Delhi. The ongoing struggle against Indian rule in Kashmir is not an ordinary war, but rather a jihad, unquote. 7, and this is important, Rahul. I plead with the Afghan Mujahideen to come forward and help liberate us from India, and by doing so, express their bond of Islamic brotherhood and religious commitment. 8, in the light of the Quran, it has now become incumbent on the people of Pakistan to engage in jihad in Kashmir. In fact, participating in the Kashmir jihad is now a binding duty incumbent not just on the Pakistani Muslims, but rather the entire worldwide Muslim Ummah, unquote. So Rahul, these are the exact words of Gilani. This was Gilani, and this was his thought. Is there any wonder that there are hundreds, perhaps thousands of Gilanis, as General Bakshi alluded to, right now in Kashmir? Is there any doubt whatsoever?
Well, let me tell you, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yeah, thanks, Rahul. I have to say that I'm very impressed by both the BJP and the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. They have been exceptionally forthright in their views. And both of them, this is a wonderful discussion because both of them have actually laid out 3 or 4 facts, irrefutable. What Dr. Sudhanshuji said is irrefutable. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav did make all those statements. But what the SP spokesperson said is also true, that all the schemes that the SP had, of course, there was corruption and there was loot and the policemen were scared, there was law and order, all those problems were there. But the fact of the matter is that both governments did implement their schemes for everyone, irrespective of the religious community. If BJP can deny that fact, then it has to come up with facts. Now, there is a confusion. Now, there are two issues here. Now, the second one is a little philosophical one, so I'll just give me a minute. But before that, there is a confusion because on 8th August, Yogi Adityanath actually referred to Mulayam Singh Yadav as abbajaan. And his son took great umbrage to that and said, no, you shouldn't say abbajaan for God knows what reason. It's a perfectly respectable term. So I'm not very sure if what he said yesterday was, referring to or in context to Mulayam Singh Yadav, that those who listened to Mulayam Singh Yadav were given preferential treatment. So there is a confusion there. Maybe that will be cleared out. I don't know. But let me turn now very quickly, Rahul, because I think, your viewers need to know this. When you talked about polarization, the Muslim-Hindu binary, I have to ask this. I think we are way past the state of being politically correct. When we talk of bigotry, when we talk of dog whistle, I want to ask you, if a holy book reiterates that Hindus or polytheists are the worst of creatures, that let them roast in hell, do not marry them, I ask you, is that bigotry? Is that polarization? Is that dog whistle? What else do you want? Religious is the biggest mainstreaming of hate. When we do that, when we talk about that all the time. So this is what I mean. Just 30 seconds, Rahul. I get this all the time mostly from leftist dunderheads and religious fanatics, to be honest. The moment they lose an argument, why are you talking of religion all the time? Why all this Hindu-Muslim talk all the time? They say this the moment I talk of the religion.
मैं reconnect कर रहा हूँ, मैं कुछ problem है, reconnect कर रहा हूँ.
Okay.
Go ahead. Dr. Ranganathan, we can hear you. Go ahead, yes.
Oh, right, yes. So, they never tire exposing the ills of Hinduism. They want to burn the Vedas and the Smritis. They want people to reject Hinduism, leave its fold. But the moment you talk of Islam, the moment you quote the holy verses, unpalatable to them. The moment you redress the balance, the moment you're objective, they begin jumping like crabs on a hot pan saying, don't talk of religion, don't divide Hindu-Muslim. Someone tell these hammerheads that religion must be talked about. Not just some of the time, but all the time. Because it is the great disruptor. It is the one that has destroyed this world. It has led to illogic and irrationality and murder and terror. It is the longest running dictatorial regime that has subjugated billions and ordered and extracted unspeakable crimes from them. And yet you don't want atheists to expose its ills. Why? Because you're scared and embarrassed by it. You are embarrassed that science has exposed all what you thought was real and the truth as fantasy and a lie. You are embarrassed that despite this, you still follow religion, and your embarrassment has turned into hate for those who try and expose religion for what it is. But you don't mind rationalists who expose the falsehoods and superstitions of Hinduism. You hail them. But the moment a rationalist exposes the falsehoods of Islam, you call him a bigot. Itna dar kyun? Let people be polarized. Let them know the truth.
Okay.